It's crazy to think we just found out Jalen Hurts had off-season ankle surgery a couple of months ago. We'll go through his timeline to recovery and why he should be ready to go for the 2024 season. Also, Philadelphia restructured Jordan Mailata's contract, freeing up even more cap space. And you have Dalvin Cook and maybe Joe Mixon about to hit the market. It's going to be a crazy, crazy day. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Wednesday. We have a absolutely jam-packed show, maybe the most packed show I've had in a very, very long time with all the news that is going on. First, though, be sure to thumbs up and subscribe. Wednesday link live tonight, 7 p.m. Myself, Josh Davis, Philly Special Show. Don't be late. We always have a lot of fun answering your questions and talking about the Eagles live with the rest of the National Football League as well. Okay, ESPN, they have the article here. Jalen Hurts had surgery to remove hardware from ankle, sources say. Now, ESPN's Tim McManus, the Eagles staff writer for, of course, ESPN, says this, quote, Eagles quarterback, who recently became the highest paid player in NFL history, had surgery on his right ankle earlier this offseason, league sources told ESPN. The procedure was to remove hardware that had been inserted in the ankle after Hurts suffered a high ankle sprain while playing for the University of Alabama in October of 2018 against Tennessee, sources said. Hurts was sidelined for nearly a month before returning to play in November of that season. Surgery to remove the hardware took place in February and was considered minor, according to sources, who added that Hurts returned to his offseason workout routine not long after the procedure. Hurts will be a full participant in the Eagles offseason training program that begins next week, according to sources, end quote. This is something that is a surprise, but it's not a surprise from an NFL perspective because teams hide these things all the time. I mean, we all talk about Jalen Hurts' shoulder. Little did we know we had an ankle that was probably causing him a decent amount of pain with some hardware that was most likely poking the wrong way or up, down, whatever way it was going, causing him discomfort. I'm sure they shot it up full of pain medication, hence why he played and didn't favor the ankle. But had this been a big-time storyline during the playoffs or the Super Bowl, you would bet your bottom dollar teams would have tried to tackle and give that ankle a little twist just to test it and make sure it is okay. All good news here. It took place in February. We're now in April. He's full participant. He'll be here for the offseason training activities next week. Very, very good news for Philadelphia. Thumbs up for Jalen Hurts being okay. And, of course, for getting that massive contract, which is great for him and the team as well. Speaking of the team and the contract situation, we've had another key cap restructuring. This time, Jordan Mailata, the star left tackle of the Eagles, via Jeff Kerr, CBS Sports. Eagles Central has the tweet, quote, Eagles restructured offensive tackle Jordan Mailata's contract per Jeff Kerr, CBS Sports. This move will save $7.64 million in cap space in 2024, my gosh, and $7.7 million in 2025. So now you have more cap space for this year and next year. Now, how much cap space you're asking? Well, On the Road to Victory has a very good graphic on his Twitter account here. Eagles will have an estimated $14 million in salary cap space after they sign their rookie draft picks. So right now they have 18.7. Obviously, you got to give your rookies some potential money depending on how many first-round draft picks. This will be less if they trade out of the first round with one of those picks. But if you were to take a player at each pick they have right now, you're going to spend $4.6 million. So there you go, $14.134333 million in free cap space right now, which is enough to absorb a pretty big contract. We talked about Budda Baker and Devin White both seemingly hinting they want to be in Philadelphia, and you can argue amongst yourselves down in the comment section about who you would rather have and if you believe they are going to make another move. But there are two other moves that have since become a little bit more interesting in terms of at least the running back spot. And it's Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon. Let's throw up the the Joe Mixon one first. Dov Kleiman has this one. Quote, update, the Bengals are expected to ask Joe Mixon to take a pay cut. If he doesn't accept, he'll be let go via The Athletic. And he mentions it here. You see Joe Mixon remains right now, as Katie Blackburn said 3 times when asked about him at the league meeting. His next steps involve the conclusion of an aggravated menacing case filed against him by Cincinnati Police Department and negotiation of a pay cut the team is expected to ask to him to either accept or be let go. And so obviously legal issues aside, and you got to wait for those things to pan out. But still, Mixon is one of the better running backs in the National Football League, and there's a chance he could hit the free agent market, which means Philadelphia could get him for pennies on the dollar compared to what he makes currently with the Bengals. Now, do you want him? That's up to you. Would you rather have Bijan Robinson? Yeah, probably. I know how you act. I know what you think. But at the same time, there are other options in case they weren't going to go ahead and spend 10 on Bijan, because some people say they're for sure going to spend 10, and others say they're never going to even have a chance of spending 10. Forget about it on Bijan. Move on. So Mixon is coming available. The possibilities are out there, are clearly endless. Also, Dalvin Cook. Talked about him a while ago. Dov Kleiman has this update via Jeremy Fowler of ESPN on the potential release of, obviously, Dalvin Cook. Quote, the Vikings could cut Pro Bowl running back Dalvin Cook by draft time, per Jeremy Fowler. I'm told all options are on the table. He could be released if things don't work out. The Vikings also talked to at least one team about a trade in the past, end quote. And this is a very good instance of a running back who was drafted very high, first round. It was fantastic for the extent of his rookie contract. And then as you get a little bit older, the injuries pile up, the wear and the miles pile up, and hence the situation they're at with Dalvin Cook. This is not an excuse to not draft Bijan Robinson, because you can still get 5 good years out of Robinson and then move on. It's about the average lifespan of anybody in the National Football League. But again, I'm just providing some different options in case they don't get Bijan Robinson. Look for Cook, look for Mixon as two really dynamic running backs who are a little older, a little more wear on the tread, but could still be options for a lot cheaper than you'd realize, especially a lot cheaper than what Cook would have cost 2 years ago for, say, on the open market. Okay, let's move over here to a couple of draft news and notes that I think are very interesting. Penn State quarterback Sean Clifford is visiting the Eagles today per his Instagram. Here is your clip. Sean Clifford, 14, with the little blue check, so you know it's officially him. And he is at the Nova Care Complex in the indoor practice facility, obviously working out with Philadelphia. This would not be a draft pick. This would be an undrafted free agent. As Sean Clifford, a longtime Penn State starting quarterback. Philadelphia not in need of a quarterback with the Marcus Mariota signing. But if you wanted to bring in a camp arm, Sean Clifford would make some sense. Local Philadelphia guy, goes to Penn State, is a good pocket passer, can move around in the pocket as well. He's officially visiting Philadelphia. And this kind of shows you that not everyone who's visited Philadelphia has posted on their Instagram confirming they've been to Philadelphia. Remember the Miles Murphy situation a couple of weeks ago? Is he going? Is he not? Rappaport says this, Athletic Guy says that, so it at least is fun seeing an official report here that Sean Clifford is visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. Look for him to be an undrafted free agent camp arm for Philadelphia. And finally, Alabama's Brian Branch had a top 30 visit with the Eagles. D.I. Birds Blog has the tweet. You see it on your screen. Now it's official. Quote, Alabama's safety Brian Branch had a top 30 visit with the Eagles, according to Rap Sheet with the eye emoji. Branch is widely regarded as the top safety in this year's draft class and has often been linked to the Eagles with one of their first-round draft picks, end quote. What do we always say? Say it with me. Just because you visit doesn't mean you're going to be an Eagle, but at least they did have him in. And this is another option people talk about really at 10, but more so at 30. I think Branch should be a trade-up candidate. You wouldn't take him at 10. They'd go offensive line, defensive line, or Bijan first. But if you were sitting there at 30 and it's pick 24 and Branch is still on the board and you want to come up to go ahead and get him, there are options here. There's also an option for Branch to fall out of the top or out of the first round. It's a slim one, but safety is not as valued, at least especially in this year's draft, as it has been in the past. A lot more defensive linemen, offensive linemen, and skill players could go ahead of him. Maybe you could move back from 30 and then get him early in the second round. I don't know, but Branch did have an official visit, and that I think is good news for a lot of people who think he is one of the better safeties to come out in the past couple of years. And there have been good safeties, but I think Branch at least has the ability to be a day one starter in Philadelphia, which is what you want out of your first or at least early second round draft picks. So a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot more stuff happening on the Wednesday Link Live tonight. Again, myself and Josh Davis. We have hundreds of you guys join us every single Wednesday night. You can also go ahead and get in on the first round draft pick jersey giveaway we're doing night one of the NFL draft. We are, 8 days away from night one of the NFL draft. Thumbs up if you are super excited. This is hopefully going to be the fastest 8 days ever. That way it comes sooner rather than later. I'll keep you guys up to date on everything happening with Philadelphia and the National Football League as we approach 11,000 subs here on the channel. Hit the red subscribe button, notification bell, and join us tonight. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show.